Greetings, Judah. DFG here, Gideon's Flight. Hey guys, this is going to be a real short message, but something I think that you may want to remember as you go forward, through your days. And many of you guys, like myself, have struggled with, you know, should I continue to pray uh, for those in my family who who resist the truth, as much as this truth has been presented to them from yourself, obviously, from our history book, and you feel like it's falling on deaf ears. The more you say to them, the more they shun you, the more they turn away from you, and of course that causes us to feel at times very discouraged. Although according to the book of Yah, these things were prophesied to happen. Brother against brother, sister against sister, father against son, son against daughter against mother. As a foretelling that when these things happen, know that we are in the end of times. Our ancestors didn't behave that way. Well, there were moments they did. But when they did, Yah judged them. He judged them harshly when they did that. And the great thing about that is that when Yah judged them harshly, he forced them to turn back to him. Many times we get in the way. Instead of us standing back and letting Yah judge those among us who choose to go after the ways of Balaam or the ways of the world, the ways of sin, we get in the way and we try to pull them back. And all we're doing is causing confusion. Not confusion for them, but confusion for ourselves, confusion for our Rahuk. Because the Rahuk inside of us is intended to bring us to peace, tranquility, to bring us into a greater knowledge of Yah. But when we are out there trying to do the work of Yah in terms of trying to turn the wicked back, then all we're doing is causing confusing on the inside, because now what? We're consumed with, the anguish that comes back to us because they are not listening to us. They won't respond to us. They're not listening to Yah. They won't respond to the word of Yah. And this is important for you to remember, my sisters and my brothers, so that you don't grieve the Rahuk in you. We were encouraged not to do that. Do not grieve the Rahuk inside of you. Because if you do that, then again, it causes anxiety. It causes depression. It causes you in many ways to lose, your way in terms of what Yah has planned for you on any given day. And I said any given day. I'm not talking about forecasting out into the future, because tomorrow is not promised. And we were warned by Yah not to get caught up in what was going to happen tomorrow. Yah instructed us to focus on today. Now is the time. The work that we should be doing is the work that's in our hands at this present time. Just always remember what happened with Moses. When Moses went into the mount and he came face to face with the presence of Yah. And Yah gave him instruction on what he should do to deliver the people of Yah. Moses had a question for Yah. He asked him, he said, well, what army are you going to give me? What force is going to be behind me? What weapons of war will I possess to go to the enemy? And Yah told Moses, what's in your hand? Look in your hands, Moses. And Moses looked in his hand and said, all I have is a rod, a branch in my hand. And Yah said, that's what you're going to use. Because see, when we're in our right mind, we're able to use what we have currently. We're able to use what I guess the easiest way to say it, that when we stay in the moment, then we are the most effective, because everything we need, we already have. Yah can show you how to use it, no matter how immaterial or ineffective that the flesh might tell you that it is. See, the flesh is always weak, and the flesh is always going to war after, the Rahu. The world calls it the spirit. The flesh is always going to try to tell the spirit, no, no, no. But those of us who are in the word, those who are studying the word, those of us who are trusting in Yah, we already know that greater is it that's in us than it that is in this world. Okay? So when Yah tells us to refrain from pushing into places he did not send us, then we should hearken to the word. And even if that means should we go out and seek Yah for those that we love who reject Yah? Now, again, I know sometimes this truth is hard to swallow. Remember we talked about the showbread? You know, it's bitter going into your mouth, but sweet to the belly. Sometimes the truth is that way. You automatically want to regurgitate it. You don't want to digest it. But for those times that you shall, those times that you allow your body to take it in, your body becomes healthy, your body becomes stronger. The same thing applies to your spirit. So when you're eating good food, your body gets stronger. Eating junk food, your body gets weaker. When you're looking at the things of the world and embracing the lies that are out there that are telling you things that are contrary to the word of Yah, your spirit gets weaker, your Ruach gets weaker. But when you're in the word, when you're studying the word and the things that the word, then your spirit gets stronger, because there's nothing stronger than the word. There is nothing stronger. This is health food on steroids for your Ruach, the word. And that's why we should always reference the word in times of confusion. We should reference the word in time of when for lack of understanding. We should reference the word for wisdom. Therefore, in that wisdom, Yah is sharing with us that there's a work that he shall do, and there's a work that you're expected to do. Use what's in your hands. Don't try to be Elohim to the world. That is not the direction. That's what has gotten so many of these so-called religious people in so much trouble, because they're men, then they try to make themselves to be Elohim. And at that point, they lose their way. You understand that, my brothers and sisters? That's many of these so-called ministers out in this world. Some of them started off very meek, very, very humble. And then just because they got some attention and people poured in resources to them, they became high-minded, they became arrogant, they set themselves up on stages and they sit in thrones amongst the middle of men, and they boast about how great they are. But Yah put them there. See, these are lying prophets. Yah said he beautifies, the meek, you know, saying, with humbleness. Moses, one of our greatest, forefathers, was the most humblest man, a meek man on the planet. So when you see these arrogant fools sitting out here on their thrones or on their stages, doing all their talking, what you're seeing is an abomination right in front of your face. In other words, it's a wolf in sheep's clothing that are deceiving you, saying, look at how Yah is elevating us. No, Yah doesn't elevate that way. Yeshua said that when he made the comment. He said the foxes have their holes and the birds have their nests, but the son of man has nowhere, or the son of Adam has nowhere to lay his head. See, that was his way of telling you it's not about materialism, my brothers and sisters. It's not about any of it. It's all about the glory, the grace, the power, and the restoration of the people of Yah through breaking down these walls of evil and wickedness. But it can't happen if you want to become somebody's wailing wall. You understand that? If you want to be, I'm going to be the intercessor. Well, you can be the intercessor, within yourself and building up yourself and being an example to them. But chasing and running after them and losing your hair, praying for them, Yah said that's not what he called you to do. I'll give you one more example of what I mean by that. Then I'm going to give you the word, then I'm going to let you go. When you look at the story of the prodigal son, when that young man decided he was going to take all the things that he had inherited to his father and go out into the world, that father didn't follow him out there. That father didn't get caught up in, where is he and all of those things. That father kept his position. Father said, well, let him go. Get your stuff, go. If you return, you return. When you come back, I'm going to be right where you left me, because I'm standing. I'm not going to waste my time worrying and following you out into the world. But I will be a light unto you in case you decide that world is not the right place for you to be. And, at the end of every man's day, they'll come to that realization. Some before death, some after death. After all, Yeshua said, Elohim said, every knee will bow and every tongue will confess to the glory of Elohim. So they'll come one way or the other. They'll come in this life or they'll come in death, but they will come. But in the meanwhile, you should focus on those who are already believers. You should focus on those who are seeking Yah, those who want to grow in the grace of Yah, and not waste your time after those who chose to run after the ways of this world. Because there's nothing you're going to say to them that's going to change them. If they don't believe, you know what I'm saying, the word, they don't believe, you know, the prophets, they surely not going to believe you. And yet, like Abraham told the rich man when he was in hell, you follow me? They got all this stuff out there for them to tell. They're not going to believe somebody coming back from the dead. They're not going to believe a resurrection Jesus. And I said that purposely, a resurrected Jesus. All right? Obviously, we said that's not going to happen because all of these Christians, and they're living worse than the goddamn heathens. And you all know that. Their asses are out there doing everything under the sun, then run their asses in these wicked synagogues and churches on Sundays. Though obvious, white Jesus ain't going to cut it for them. Although you can't tell them that. But Elohim, all things are possible through him. But you cannot get in the way. Now, let me give you some book real quick, and then I'm going to let you go. All right? Get on with your day. And this is one of the hidden books from our people. You know, it's the Apocalypse of Baruch. And that's why, again, you should get your cipher Bible so you can see these books that they hear from you so that you would know the truth. It's called the Apocalypse. And that's another end time book. Like Revelation is the Apocryphal book. Enoch is Apocryphal book. There's things in Joshua that's about the Apocalypse. End time. All right? And this is Yah instructing Baruch on what it will be like in the end time and how that the behaviors of the past are going to be the same behaviors of the present. Chapter 1, verse 1. It came to pass in the 25th year of of Yehochanan, king of Judah, that the word of Yahuwah came to Baruch, the son of Neruah. And he said unto him, have you seen all that this people are doing to me? Now this is Elohim telling the prophet, do you see how wicked my people are? Do you see how they're practicing idolatry? Do you see how they're becoming pagans? Do you see how they're embracing the ways of the Gentiles? Do you see how this Friday they're practicing some foolishness called Palm Sunday or Good Friday, and this Sunday they're going to practice some paganistic, fertility god called Easter in the term of Esther. He said, do you see how wicked my people are? See, that's when Solomon said in the book of Ecclesiastes, there was nothing new under the sun. My sisters, my brothers, he was saying a mouthful. He was reminding you, don't think this is a new thing. This is an old thing. And as I judged them in the past, he's going to judge them now. And I'm going to tell you something. If you go back and study the history, Yah killed hundreds of thousands of our people, sometimes at one time. And he unleashed the Gentiles on our people, and those Gentiles slaughtered our people. Why? For this very reason here that you just heard me read. The evil which you are doing to Yah. See, they think I ain't hurting nobody. When you go out there in this world and you're the people of Elohim, you're Judah, you're Israel, and you go out there and you practice the ways of these pagans, you embrace these customs of these pagans, you are doing it unto Elohim. We talked about this before in past messages. When the people rejected Samuel, and Samuel was when they wanted a king. And y'all told Samuel, don't get mad. They didn't reject you. They rejected me. The same thing when Korah and all of those rejected Moses, when they were in the wilderness. He told Moses, don't get all worked up. They didn't reject you. Even though they're not listening to you, they're turning their backs on you, like our family members and children, the people we love, are coming at us, are behaving amongst us. He said, they didn't reject you, Moses. He said, they rejected me. And what Yah did, as he slaughtered those ones who were in rebellion. Yeah, he slaughtered Judah and Israel who were in rebellion. Yah is unmerciful when you choose wickedness over him. So you're wasting your time is what he's trying to tell us. Come out from among them. Be separate. Don't walk. How can two walk together except they're walking in agreement? You cannot walk with Yah and walk with devils. That's what he's saying to you. So if their hearts are not right for Yah, you're putting good wine in old wine skins. The world will tell you you're putting good money on bad money. Listen, my sisters and my brothers. Hear the truth. Therefore, if you know that truth, it will set your rahuk free. It will take you out of your anxiety, your depression, your anguish, your misery. And it would encourage you, it would bring back your peace, because you can trust that Yah has a plan. Although you may not understand that plan, that plan is in place and it will happen. And in the meantime, he will deliver you. He will protect you. And all of those who walk after the ways of Elohim, even if as they follow you, if you have been set in position of authority in that household, whether you're a man or a priest in your household, a mother over your family, your children, or if you have a true leadership position amongst the people as a teacher, a messenger, or a prophet of Elohim, as Baruch is or was. Praise Yah. He says, have you seen all this my people are doing to me? That the evils which these two tribes, talking about Israel and Judah, which remain have done are greater than those of the 10 tribes. I'm sorry, the evil of which these two tribes, you're talking about Judah and Benjamin. Because the other 10 tribes, those are, Naphtali and Simeon and Reuben and all of those guys. He said, do you see what Judah is doing and Benjamin? Just look at America. Look what Judah, those who we so-called Negroes in America are doing. Look at what they're doing right now. Look what little nasty ass Nas X did the other day. Look what little filthy ass Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion did a few weeks ago. And there are many others. Hell, look at what your sister or your brother did yesterday or last night. Your son or your daughter. And some of you, your mothers and fathers, what they did last night or yesterday. And look at what they're going to do this weekend. And they're going to try to drag a lot of you young people into these synagogues and cause you to practice paganism. And Yah's going to bring harm and trouble into your life for that. You hear me? I'm teaching this so that you'll stay away. Don't participate in that Friday foolishness, is Good Friday and all that silliness. The day that so-called Yeshua died, or Messiah died, and he rose on the third day. And how the hell you get from 3 days from Friday to Sunday? Friday afternoon to Sunday morning. There's no kind of mathematics out there to tell you that's 3 days. But that's the lie they tell. And that's the lie many of you believe. Or you ignore the truth. That's what you do. Although you know it's not true, you still embrace it. As though there's no Ruach in you to stop you from embracing it. And I'm going to tell you something. If you are embracing it, you are right. There is no Ruach in you to stop you. Therefore, you are a child of the devil. Just so you know, you're a child of Satan. And it is time to repent, turn away, come out. And you shouldn't be encouraging anybody to participate in that foolishness. Well, maybe they'll find Yah. You're not going to find Yah in a cesspool with a bunch of demons, practicing every kind of rituals that encourage all kind of abominable acts. You're not going to find the Ruach there. That's a lie. It's a lying spirit that tells you that. Can we go forward? He said, for the former tribes, which were forced by their kings to commit sin, he's talking about the other 10 tribes. He said, but these two, the other 10 tribes, they were forced that way. So you look at colonialism and some of these things, where some of our people who stayed in some of these other countries, South America, the Eurasia, Africa. I'm not talking about the damn Canaanites over there, the Hamites. I'm talking about our people, the other 10 tribes who were scattered in those places. The colonialism, the colonizers forced them into that. Matter of fact, if they did not concede, they would murder them, kill their children, sick wild dogs on them. They would split them in two. They would do all kind of viciousness to our people in Ecuador and our people in Peru and our people, in Brazil and our people in, let's go in Ghana and our people, all on the West Coast and in the southern parts of Africa, in Europe, in India for that matter. I'm not talking about the Kamala Harris, not them devils. I'm talking about Israel, who was scattered everywhere. Those people were forced into a lot of these things. But today, Judah, you're not being forced into anything. Our people are going into this with willingness, and that's what he's telling us here. Look how accurate this statement is, my sisters and brothers. You would think someone is writing this right now. Yet this book was written thousands of years ago. It goes on to say, but the former tribes were forced by their kings to commit sin. But these two tribes of themselves have been forcing and compelling their kings to commit sin. In other words, these two tribes are encouraging. They want this wickedness. They want this way. They want the way of the heathen. They want to practice these holidays. They want to practice these pagan traditions. They want to join these occultic organizations, Freemasons, fraternities, sororities. They want these things. They feel some kind of special way when they are participating in these abominable things. They seek after that. The Boule, the Zulu clubs down in Louisiana. They embrace this. Eastern Stars. They want it. There's no one forcing them into that. They're telling their leaders, no, we want to be like the heathens. We want to be just like them. The same thing that our people told Samuel when they told him they wanted a king. The same thing our people were doing when they told Moses, who made you ruler over us? We want to rule ourselves. In other words, we want to do whatever the hell we want to do, and we don't want nobody to tell us anything to the contrary. Is that not Judah today? Is that not the so-called Negro today? The so-called African American today on average? Is that not him or her? Is it not? And this goes for the Puerto Ricans and the Dominicans and some of them others who are here as well. The Haitians, voodoo worshipers, the Islanders, St. Lucia, Jamaica, St. Thomas. All of them, same way. Let me move forward. For this reason, behold, I will bring evil upon this city, or their cities, or their countries, or their states, and upon its inhabitants. And it shall be removed from before me for a time. And I will scatter this people among the other nations, that they may do good to the other nations. In other words, every nation is going to be benefiting from our asses, but we are not going to benefit at all. Is that not what them wicked ass Asians have been doing to us for a long time, who can't stand the truth and want to call me a racist because I bring forward the truth? And if their asses were not wicked, then why are they upset about the truth? Why can't they acknowledge, yeah, we do exploit y'all asses, and yeah, we don't really come in and support your businesses. No, we stay away from y'all because we think y'all a bunch of niggas and welfare queens. So they won't say that to your face, but they'll say that behind your back. Go look in the comments of that AWA video I did and look at some of the things that they are saying, exposing their wicked asses. I'm the racist, you know what I'm saying, but they're the ones who are bringing about these atrocities in our communities. I'm talking about exploitation. Yeah, y'all is using them to judge us, but y'all going to destroy their wicked asses as he destroyed many of us who continue to support and interact with their wicked asses. Are there some Asians who this does not apply to? Of course there are some that this does not apply to. But those Asians will just accept the truth and say, hey, I'm with you, DFG. I'm with the truth. It's the word. And yeah, my people do call y'all niggas in the backdrop. Yes, my people do exploit your people. Yes, my people don't patronize your people because we think y'all a bunch of niggas using it and a bunch of welfare queens. And yeah, we're going to call you a racist because you're calling us out. Not because you're wrong, it's because you're taking the cover off and people can see that it's a wolf. That we're really not your friend. We despise you just as the other heathen Gentiles despise your people. Again, except for a remnant of them. There are some of them who don't think that way. But they're only that way because Yah has, somehow or another, they got attached to this truth and they don't give a damn about their ethnicity. What they give a damn about is serving Elohim. And they know that we are the people of Elohim. They have come into that knowledge as we have come into that knowledge. And they refuse to let anybody, even their own heathen relatives, cause them to break away from us. That elect amongst them are different. But as a whole group of people, hell no. They're a bunch of exploitators because Yah made them our exploitators. And that doesn't take it away from the Italians and the Europeans and the Africans and all the rest of them. You know, the Mexicans and the rest of them who exploit us as well. But don't support us economically. Praise Yah. And we don't hear them about those stupid ass taxes. We were paying the tax. The reason why your asses got here, many of you who are immigrants, because we were paying taxes long before you. Some of you guys even know America existed. You make these comments about you pay taxes, you know, for that's it for our school. What the hell you think we pay? But that's dumbasses. Only a dumbass can say something so stupid, because that means you have no ability to reason. You have you have no comprehension. Common sense should have told you, well, I can't use that argument because they've been here long before us, and I'm sure, and they have to pay taxes too. They're not tax exempt. After all, this country refused to give them reparations to restore them for all the things this company robbed their ancestors of. Therefore, that's why they don't have wealth. You're getting your wealth, Asian devil and the others, with your company. Your parents started businesses. They passed them down to you. They did labor. You benefit from their labor. We did labor. Our people didn't benefit from our labor because exploiters came here and would not allow us to benefit our elders to pass down their labor to their children. Why don't you accept that truth? But you rather walk in darkness because your ignorance and your bigotry and your hatred of our people will not allow you to accept that truth. But you can't change it just because you speak evil and cuss me out. That's not going to change anything. You're just putting yourself under more hellfire. When your wicked ass die, y'all going to remind you of all those things you said against the truth. Because that's all I brought to you is the truth. Amen. Let me move on. He said, for this reason, behold, I bring evil upon, he said, this city, and you can say the cities, and upon its inhabitants, meaning us. He's talking about the two tribes here. He's talking about Judah in particular. So he's talking about us when he says the inhabitants of the city. He ain't talking about them heathens. They're already judged. They're already going to burn in hell. He said, for this reason, behold, I bring evil upon this city, upon its inhabitants, and it shall be removed before me for a time. And I will scatter this people amongst the other nations, that they may do good, and the other nations benefit. And my people shall be chastened, and the time shall come when they will seek for the prosperity of their times, as we're looking for reparations right now. You see how true the word is, my sisters and brothers? You see why? It's hard for me to understand why the people that we love won't accept this truth. This is accurate. This is more accurate than anything that they can write or read or discover. It's right here in front of their faces. But like Yeshua said, they have eyes to see and they can't see. Isaiah said that too, I might add. Ears to hear and they can't hear. Right here in front of their face is the truth and they still can't see it. Right here it says that they're going to be looking at some point after Yah has chastened them and chastised them. In other words, when the end of the Gentile rule has come, Yah people are going to wake up and they're going to say, where are my reparations? Where are the things that are owed to me? And of course, they're going to cut us off because them heathens don't want to give up anything, because the God of this world, whom they serve, is a God of money and mammon and materialism, of lust, debauchery, whoredom, homosexuality, killing of innocent, shedding of innocent blood in their abortion slaughterhouses, pushing homosexual agenda, Satan worship through their television programming systems, their video programming systems. They don't want to give that up under any circumstances. And they'd rather cut their own throat and split their own bowels open than to do what Yah instructed them to do. But the time has come for Yah's people to wake up. But what Yah is also saying, as I just read to you, Yah said, don't waste your time going after your siblings, your family members who reject me. I'm judging them. There's a time for them. Let me go back and read that to you in case you missed it. Verse 4. For this reason I will bring evil upon its inhabitants, and they shall be removed before me for a time. Let that time happen, my sisters and brothers. Let it happen to them. Let them deal with the consequences of their behavior. Let them deal with it. Then they will see the strength and glory, and maybe they will turn. But as long as you're in the way, interceding for them, they're going to continue to go farther and farther and farther away. If you stand your ground, they may return back. They may turn back, as the prodigal son eventually did when he came back to his father's home, which is a demonstration of Elohim and the people of Elohim. Those who get tired of being laying with the pigs. He says that they may do good to that they may do good to the other nations, and my people shall be chastened. In other words, get their asses whipped. And the time shall come when they will seek for their prosperity of their times. For I have said these things to you that you may bid Jehum yes, yes, I'm pronouncing this. I'm a pronounce Yirmiyahu, and all those that are like you to retire from this city. In other words, stop wasting your time praying for them. For your works are to this city as a firm pillar, and your prayers as a strong wall. In other words, it's not going to come through. All right, you're not going to be able to penetrate them. They're too consumed in the things of this world. Praise Yah. And the last thing, chapter 3, verse 1. O Yahuwah, my Adonai, I have come into this world for this purpose, that I might see the evils of my mother. He said, if was I born to see my children die? And Elohim said, not so, Adonai. If I have found grace in your sight, take my Rahut, that I may go to my fathers and not behold the destruction of my mother. And this is what Baruch is saying. He said, I don't want to see this stuff. And Yah said, well, trust me, if you hear me, you're hearken unto me, you won't. At least not for those that you have the intimate relationships with, mothers, fathers. Okay? Yah can fix it. Get out the way, my sisters and brothers, and let him have his way. Praise Yah. Again, if you don't have the cipher, get it, guys. I mean, it's more knowledge for you. Let your knowledge be increased, as Yah promised knowledge will be increased in these last days. All right? Love you guys. DFG. All praises to Elohim. You know, may the people of Judah wake the hell up. It's time. And for those who don't want to wake up, let them go. That's what the word is saying to us. They love the ways of this world more than Elohim, and Yah is going to judge them for it. He's already judging them for it. But if we stand back and let Yah's works reveal itself, then the promise that Yah has made to our ancestors around restoration will happen. Amen.